Now to the new information on the Pac-12 shakeup. The University of Oregon and the 9 other schools leaving the conference are responding to yesterday's ruling by a Washington judge that essentially removed them from the Pac-12 board, despite being in the conference until 2024. In a joint statement, the schools said in part, quote, "We are disappointed with the decision and are immediately seeking review in the Washington Supreme Court and requesting to put on hold implementation of this decision. As members of the Pac-12 participating in ongoing and scheduled competitions, we are members of the Pac-12 bylaws. We have the right to the revenue earned by our schools during the 2023-2024 academic year, which is necessary in order to operate our athletics programs and to provide mental and physical health services, academic support, and other support programs for our student athletes." All right, so KEZI 9 News reporter Joey Vaca is now joining us live from the University of Oregon campus, where he has more on the ruling and some reaction from UO students. Joey, what do you got for us?
Yeah, Ariel, so there's a lot unknown about what's going to happen next, but what we know right now, the University of Oregon and the 9 other schools leaving the Pac-12 no longer have a seat on the conference board. And there's still plenty of events happening this school year that all 12 schools are a part of. There's the football championship coming up in December. There's men's and women's basketball tournaments in the spring, plus plenty of other sporting events happening this year. In that time, Oregon State University and Washington State University will be the only 2 schools on the conference board. So how did we get here? Back in September, the Pac-12 board planned a meeting to discuss the future of the conference, but OSU and WSU, being the only 2 remaining schools, said to pump the brakes and put a filed order to prevent the meeting from happening. They then filed to ensure that the 10 departing schools would no longer have seats on the board since they expressed their intent to leave the conference. They cited the conference bylaws. Yesterday, after hours of arguments from lawyers representing the remaining schools and the departing schools, a judge in Whitman County, Washington, ruled in favor of OSU and WSU. The 10 departing schools no longer have their board seats, despite being active members of the conference until August 2024. One day later, that ruling isn't sitting right with students at the University of Oregon.
Well, I mean, obviously I'm not super familiar with all the bylaws of the Pac-12, but it seems to be a principle of our agreed upon rules as a society that representation is important when something's affecting you. It's kind of the basis of democracy in America. So it seems like our sports teams should be representing that.
Jerome said there's even more at stake than just the sports teams, and the schools need to have a voice while they're still members of the conference. So I did reach out to officials at the University of Oregon. They said they didn't have any further comment outside of that joint statement that you just heard. And this ruling didn't come as a surprise to many people, but the departing schools did still make a really strong argument in court. And coming up on KEZI 9 News at 5, you'll hear more about those arguments and students' reactions to them. Reporting live in Eugene, Joey Vaca, KEZI 9 News.